everybody and welcome to another tier list video. I am joined with the GWVillager once more, who I've employed to assist me in a rather interesting video idea I've had. So, I've always wanted to do a sort of tier list video on trains I didn't really have an idea of reviewing, mainly on how they looked. I wanted to rank a whole bunch of trains, like high-speed trains more specifically. But, when it came to looking at the trains in Japan, the Shinkansen, the problem was, if I was to include these with a bunch of European and American high-speed trains, they would just all be an S tier and it wouldn't be that fair. So I thought, well, let's do a little practice video where we rank the appearance of a bunch of Shinkansen high-speed trains and see, which ones are our personal preference, like favourites for which ones look the best.
Yeah, and as we've said, the Japanese trains in general, but particularly the Shinkansens, do all look very good. There are a few exceptions that we will come to.
Indeed.
But yeah, it will be a nice little warm-up. There's a lot of variety, so it will be interesting to see what we agree and what we disagree on, as always.
Certainly, and if you have any objections, well, you know the drill, engage. But anyway, we will start with the first one, which is the Shinkansen Series 0, I believe, or 0 Series, whichever if you want to call it.
0 Series.
Which I have, which will be, if I remember, it's this one here. So this was the first one from 1964, lasted 44 years in service, which is bloody impressive as far as I'm concerned.
Very impressive, particularly as they don't tend to keep trains in service that long in Japan. They usually retire them after 20 years or so.
Indeed. And when you think of bullet train, I think this is like the thing that comes to most people's minds. I think it's iconic enough for that.
And it's where the name came from. Not only were they bullet fast, they also literally look like bullets.
Exactly.
They're a very distinctive, very iconic shape. The round headlights, very unusual. Nothing really has been done like this since. And to be honest, I can completely see why, as I think they're pretty ugly.
No way!
Yeah,
How could
I'm gonna say it.
Oh, well, the former late GWVillager vocalizing his opinions on the on the Shinkansen Series 0 here. But I'm surprised you'd think that. I don't think they're like the best looking ones. I always thought this was like very iconic. I would like them. Like I was gonna give them B or A tier, but maybe you should compromise and put it C tier, maybe, or B?
Well, no, to be honest, I think B tier is probably where I'd put it. I think considering everything, for the time, they were fine. And for 125 mile an hour trains, they're okay, I guess. There wasn't really any precedent. People didn't really know what high-speed trains were supposed to look like, so I'm not blaming them or anything. It's certainly unique and leaves a lasting impression, which is, I guess, what you want. But they don't feel very elegant. They're very stubby. They're not drawn out. They don't give much of an impression of speed. They don't invite you on board. And the lines, not the sight lines, proportions, rather like I'd mentioned before. But I suppose the way the Gosh, I've completely butchered this.
That's fine. I think I can sort of get what you're trying to talk about. Is it like the windows on the front? They look a bit off, would you say? Is that what you're trying to talk about?
Partly that, but I mean the general profile of the train. Like the whole way it's built, it doesn't feel very pleasing. It's not really intuitive. It's like a series of rectangles, like perfect rectangles, with loads of squares on the side, and then for some reason a bullet on the front. It doesn't feel particularly coherent. It looks a little messy in my opinion. But again, it's unique and you can't blame them. It was 1963.
True, I guess I can understand where you're coming from. And also to be that guy, not that I want to be, the actual top speed was 220 kilometers an hour.
Oh, was it? Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Fatal mistake.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, I still like them in terms of appearance, but I can at least see where GWVillager is coming from. That being said, the sequel to it, the 100 series, I think looks much better.
Completely agreed.
Yeah, I think that what they did is that they took what it looked like originally and then just sort of say, let's make it look even sleeker. And I said, oh,
Yeah,
that looks fantastic.
It's a refinement. I think it's people had started to get the idea of what high-speed trains should be looking like, and this has aged fantastically well. You can tell it's old, but it doesn't look ugly.
No.
The longer windows on the body side, I think, help a lot.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, as you say, though, the front windows too, like not having that exposed steel, having that sort of black eye mask, I guess. And of course, the little slit headlights make them look very sleek. I love these.
Yeah, they look fantastic. What do you think is worthy of A or S tier?
Ooh,
That's exactly what.
gosh.
I want to also bring up that there is they also had, like, some of them had double-decker buffet cars.
Yeah, which I don't think helps their aesthetics, to be honest. But
it's creative. It's like tapping into
yeah.
in a TGV duplex before duplex.
Yeah, I don't know. I would put them in A myself, but
I think I'd be satisfied with A.
Okay, yeah.
A should
All right.
suffice with this. Either way, we both agree that it's an improvement over the 0 series.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's head on to the 200 series, which is this one with the well, it's like a, I don't know what to really call it, like an improvement or a, because it's like a sort of almost a Patara fusion of both of these.
Yeah, and I think it's worse. Like,
yeah.
For this late, this is what, 1986?
No,
1982.
82.
Oh, 82. Okay. Yeah. So I guess they're actually older than the 200 series. I don't quite know how they got that number, but sorry, the 100 series.
The 100 series. Yeah, that's weird. I
don't quite know what went on there. Anyway, though, I don't like these at all.
No.
They've still got, well, they've got the round headlights, but they're stretched by the looks of it upwards. And why have they gone for these sort of rounded driver's windows? What were they thinking of here? And the livery doesn't suit them at all.
It's a weird livery. It's a livery that almost looks like from like Network Northwest. No. Is it? No, Regional Railways or something. Almost reminds me of that.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Just why would you put the little green line through the? I know it's not a radar dome, but the nose cap.
Well, do you think it'd be better if it went around the nose cap?
Well, not necessarily, but I feel like they should play into it as part of the, because it's the distinctive feature of the train. So they should have done something to acknowledge that rather than kind of ignoring it, and maybe going around the nose cap or having like I guess like the equivalent of a TFL roundel sort of thing, but something that would draw attention to it in a way, maybe, or just not put anything on the front at all, which the original livery did have. And to be honest, I prefer the original green on the 200 series to the blue on the 0 series and 100 series, but they're still uglier trains.
I can see what you mean by that. I was looking through Wikipedia here. There seems to be some versions that do have the slit headlights, or I don't know, maybe it's like a...
Really?
Well, at least according to what I have here on Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh.
Something doesn't feel right about that.
No, these are the H sets by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're 16 car lads.
Yeah, and they have double deckers too.
Which is very odd as well. It's like they're sort of throwing around that random ideas in, like they picked it from a lottery or a little, top.
yeah. Like a tombola, they spun it and pulled it out, and it's 112. What's that? Slit headlights.
We will design a Shinkansen with 16 cars, and it will have one bi-level coach. It really feels like that.
It does seem a little like that. Yeah, it looks like a slightly worse 100 series. I don't like them. I'm inclined to say C tier here.
I think, I'm probably going to agree with you, because it's like, I'm going to put it on C tier as well, because I'm not going to even contest.
it doesn't have the fact that it's so old to hold it up like the Zero Series does, and it doesn't have that iconic image too. It's just bad.
Well, you know, it's not like we can get worse. Oh, hello, it's the 300 series. How you doing?
Ooh, yeah, gosh.
So this one is well, this definitely reeks of 1990s design. It's from the 1992. It's from what it seems.
Yeah.
This was the first one that was specified in only one set, like one formation. So these ones were all 16 coaches long. Which, well, it does. I mean, they're basically as long as Eurostars. Well, okay, I say that they're a bit longer. They're 402 meters long, I think.
Wow, gosh, that's going to be as long as 2 HS2 trains coupled together.
Oh, of course, yes. How can we forget? So, obviously, the biggest problem with the 300 series design is where bullets. Where it looks like it's been shaved, or it's got shaving cream on the front.
The thing I don't get is this weird sort of front overhang. But why does the white go all the way down to basically the track? It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, it would have been better if it was maybe if that was painted blue. The blue stripe
if the blue. Yeah, exactly. The blue body side line kind of dipped down and then merged into the bumper, I guess. Or cowling. Is it cowling?
Cowling, I think.
Yeah. So, well, maybe I don't know.
I know what you're talking. I know what
the right word. Yeah,
cowling
you know
is
what
the
I
right
mean.
word. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think cowling is the right word.
It's just it feels like a weirdly empty train, particularly in that livery. It just does not suit the profile. I don't know what they were going for, but dare I say they failed.
Well, I do agree. Sadly, I mean, I do have a weird bit of nostalgia for the 300 series because this was the first video, like one of the first Shinkansens I saw on YouTube. The video is still up on YouTube, I believe. I'll link it to you later, but it was the first video of a Shinkansen I saw on YouTube was this passing through a station.
Oh, yeah, I remember these. Yeah, they did appear every now and again, in I guess popular culture.
Really?
I can't remember exactly where, like in films and stuff. I don't think it was like conscious acknowledgement of them. It was just like
that was the thing that was running.
Yeah. They haven't quite earned their place in the history books like the Zero Series has. But to be honest, I am inclined to agree there. They're not all bad, and they do have a little bit of 90s charm to them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think it's like the worst thing ever, like in terms of appearance. It's just like when you compare it to the even the first three we've got here, this doesn't really, to me, scream of Shinkansen. It's high-speed train, sure. Shinkansen needs.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a real break from the previous Shinkansen tradition.
True.
And to be honest, though, I wouldn't say it screams high-speed train. It's still clearly a Shinkansen. Nothing else like this has really been built. It's still a very unusual design. But yeah, it was unusual for a reason. They didn't build more of them for a reason, because they look kind of bad. So yeah, I think maybe C tier, or possibly even D tier.
It's a tough one. Let's be generous with this because of the charm and my nostalgia. We'll give it C tier just for that.
Let's give it C tier.
Also say that this is the first one to have AC traction motors, or three-phase.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah, 90s. Remember? That was that's.
Of course.
Well, let's get into the 400 series, which another one which is retired as well. This one had another short life, 17 years. The 300 series was about roughly 20.
Wow, that's yeah, and again, looking at them, I can see why people didn't want them to stay around for long.
Yeah, so this one ran on the mini Shinkansen lines, which well, I'm trying to read it from Wikipedia. It's basically when they convert a line from narrow gauge to proper standard gauge to run Shinkansens on. And depending on which line it was running on, at least from what I'm reading here, the top speed was either 150 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour, tapping into our inner USA.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about 80 miles an hour, that's not a Shinkansen. That's like a interregional express, if that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I can sort of inclined to agree on that, I'm afraid.
The mini Shinkansen, I think, is a very good idea, and it's something that we should do quite a bit. And indeed, I suppose we kind of did with the HST. I guess that was our equivalent.
You could get away with that.
Yeah, you can't be bothered to build any new lines, but hey, put some shiny new trains on it, and the passengers come rolling in. And indeed, they did here, and they did in Japan. So we should be doing more of it. Of course, some more high-speed lines will be welcome, but they are building them out in Japan, very much so. They built out a lot, so that's more a problem for us than them. But yeah, as for the 400 series themselves...
What do you think of it? Well, I mean, it's got the pointy nose. Come on. Nose pointy, that's...
Yeah.
That's not enough to win you over.
It looks like... You know that meme dog?
Oh, the Borzori, or how you pronounce it. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, the one with the really long nose.
Yeah, the long nose
looks like
dog.
that.
Why did you... I really wish you didn't bring that up, because I can't disagree with you. I cannot disagree. It looks exactly like the dog. Oh my god.
The windows. I think the windows in general, they're both way too large, proportionately speaking, and weirdly positioned.
It feels like an Electro Star windows almost. They remind me a bit of
almost.
Electro.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Or
but I feel
trains.
like the driver's window is... Yeah, but the driver's window is way too high up. The passenger's windows are way too low down, and the door windows are like some intermediate height. I don't think it really works.
I don't get it. Yeah, it's just really weird.
Mm.
It's such
and they've only got one door a coach on each side, apart from the driving coaches, which have two for some reason.
Oh, not that. Really? Oh, wow, that's dumb. I mean, that's the problem with the like the TGVs, which I'll get into that when I review them. But here it's more of that's stupid. That's really stupid. But look on the bright side. In coach 2, and in coach 2, 3, and 6, you get a card phone.
Oh. Okay.
So if you got
essential
a BT,
in this day and age.
Yeah, if you got a BT, well, okay, I say that they're essential. They're not in service anymore for a reason. You know, if you got like a BT phone card, you can, you fingers crossed, you can plug it in and make whatever call you want.
Yeah, I love the suggestion too that luggage space only exists in 3 coaches and everywhere else just no. Don't bring anything on board.
That would be kind of funny. If that was the case.
Interiors. I know we're not talking about interiors. The first class interior, I have to say, looks very, very nice. But of course, we're not considering them.
Nah,
so...
and besides, Japan train interiors versus here are very, very different because Japan treats their public transport considerably more different compared to us. They have 3+3 seating on some trains, like on their Shinkansens.
Japanese train interiors are simultaneously much worse and much better than ours. It's kind of difficult to really comprehend. They just view trains in a completely different way. Yeah, as you say.
Correct. But what do you think of the What do you think of this? Then do you think it's
400 series D tier?
That's. You know what? I'm gonna completely agree. It's D tier. It's not nice. I don't think it's a looker. Really. Also,
this does also seem to be the first train that deviates massively from the traditional Shinkansen livery. It's grey and green. They hadn't seen this before. I think it set a pretty bad precedent, but oh well.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you know, I mean, being different isn't bad, but it also isn't good.
No, it's not that it's bad, it's just being different for the sake of it probably isn't a great idea. I get that they were trying to do some kind of mini Shinkansen unique branding, and I kind of like that. And the original livery, I think, worked way better than the livery that they are currently in. It's a bit of a running theme, hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still uncertain. I feel like they could have done a better job with it.
Alright then. Well, fortunately, I think the next one they did, which was the 500 series, which I have said to a few friends and all, that the 500 series is my candidate for the best looking train ever built. And I feel like you're going to disagree because, well, let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this. It's very round.
Yeah, they like their protractors.
Yeah, it's so weird to see that and compare this to like the 700 series, which is a square. They do seem to very much like their sort of geometry when it comes to train design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. It looks like the sort of 2000s ideal of a high-speed train that you think never existed.
Art?
Yeah, it feels like concept art. The sort of thing that you'd have like in a CGI render of HS2 when it was first being constructed. I don't know. I think it's of its time, but I don't think it looks great, but that might just be the fact that it's old and very 2000s. It could well be that in 30 years' time, I'll look back on this and think, oh, actually, no, that was a pretty good train.
Possibly. I still think it's like the best looking thing ever. Like best looking train I've ever seen. So it looked so cool, and it was like I got a toy. I had a toy of this when I was younger. I think it was it was from Tomy or Tomiko. I can't remember which one, but I just loved the look of this. It's like the definition of sleek. The livery of it looks really good on it with the black.
The livery actually does suit it quite well. Yeah, they look like toys. That is an interesting way you put it. But like they're very futuristic. Not so much in a modern futuristic sense, but I guess kind of retro futurism, but for 1997.
Yeah. There is one thing I would like to at least say though. Regardless of what you think of the exterior, one thing I must give credit to is the interior, because in standard class the seats recline.
Ooh, lovely. But 2+3, so.
Yes, but they recline. You can't tell me you wouldn't want a reclining seat on a Voyager that isn't in first class. Come on.
Yeah, that's no, it would help.
Yeah,
definitely. And yeah, I guess if you sit on the side with two seats, you can have a lovely journey anyway.
Definitely. So, what will you fight me against to put mid tier? Because obviously, if it was my own, I'd put it in an S tier. But where would you be fine with it?
Well, I would have put this in B tier. But if you think it's an S, I will be willing to accept that. This also appears to be the train that they are able to do the most stuff with regards to special liveries.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like a Hello Kitty one? Hang on, let me just check.
Yeah, there's a Hello Kitty one. There's
another and they did an Neon Genesis Evangelion though. That's kind of funny.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, it's an interesting anime. Let's say that.
I should know how to pronounce that. I don't.
No, don't worry. If you just call it Eva, everybody knows what you mean by that.
Eva, okay. Yeah, it's. I think that livery actually suited it very well.
Weirdly, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, they definitely went all out with it because that looks legit. It's a really good livery.
They did indeed. Yeah, and they built a mock-up apparently in a coach, and it was very interesting. And yeah, same with the Hello Kitty one. They clearly, this train is versatile and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So I would be willing to accept it going in S tier.
All right, thank you. Okay then, thank you very much. Check will be sent to you by Campbell or Co, depending on which one I can find. So, all right then. Well, that's great. Now, there is no 600 series, and as funny as that it would be, but we have the 700 series. not N700. We'll get onto those.
The classic.
Yeah, which it's still in service today, but the first ones came in 1999.
Yeah.
That's surprise.
It's difficult to really get your head around that these are newer than the 500 series.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that.
No, I mean, again, just for the record, by the way, I wouldn't have put the 500 series in S tier if I were on my own.
I know, I can tell.
Yeah. But as for the 700 series, ooh, yeah, they're bland.
It's like eating toast without any bread. Oh no, wait, that makes no sense. You can't eat toast without bread. It's like eating toast without butter or spreading. There we go.
Yeah, or more like I don't know, just like a piece of toast with just butter on it and nothing else. Like it's fine, I guess.
I like that. That's really nice.
It's okay, but it's not. It's not special.
True.
Yeah.
I do like. I don't know if the headlight positions with the 700 series sort of make me think it's looking at you like with its eyes, like sort of almost like half eyes, half closed, like a yawn almost.
It's got the slit headlights again, except they're really tall and in the wrong place. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have particularly strong opinions about these. They're fine, but I don't look at them and go, wow, what a great train.
I will say that the 8-car Hikari Railstar ones I think they look a little bit better because they got a different livery. And they got
the Hikari ones. Yeah, the Hikari ones look great.
That one look, I can agree. They look fantastic with the orange stripe, and they still got black band on the windows, and I think the black around the front helps.
Absolutely. And this does go to show, I suppose, just how much a livery can change a perception of a train. That this is how to design a livery for these trains, right? And again, I know it kind of contradicts what I was saying with regards to standardized liveries, but I'm not opposed to variation. It's just that variation has to be good.
Agreed.
Yeah. They also have compartments, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the Hikari ones have compartments, which is kind of interesting because compartments are cool. There's a cool factor to them. Well, with that in mind, where would you put them? If I did put a photo of a N700, did I? Yeah, I did. It's right. It's here. Okay, thank goodness.
Okay. Well, I wonder if we should nominally say that we were considering the Hikari ones and put it in A tier. But
right.
If not, I'd go C.
Well, this would include both. So for the purposes of discussion,
we go B then?
B. Yeah. Logics.
Yeah. Okay.
B tier.
It feels weird putting the 700 series in B because I don't really like them, but okay, sure. If
we're if it's being balanced out by the Hikari ones, then that's why.
We'll put the N700A in C. Oh, spoilers.
Well, we're going into the N700 anyway. Well, well, hang on. Which ones we got? The N's. This is also one thing worth mentioning. We've got the 700 series has basically been improved over and over and over, but they've been given different names. So we got the 700, which we just put in here. Then we have the N700, the N700A, which I'm going to be using for this one, and then the N700S, which stuff that will basically make it like it's going to be for this one. The one that what was it called?
N700S-8000.
That one, yes, yeah.
Because the N700S-3000 is basically the same as the N700A. It's not quite. There are more differences, but I don't think it's really different enough to get its own thing. And also with the N700 and the N700A, the only difference is technical. And all the original N700 series ones have been converted to N700A anyway, so I don't think we need to do two separate ones there.
I was not aware of that. I feel like a complete tool.
Oh no.
Well, okay, that makes our life a little bit easier. We can just put these. We can just put the N700 and N700A in the same. All right, and so why don't you not like it? Well, apart from the fact you can't tell them apart unless you have the two of them right next to each other.
Well, the thing about the N700A is that it doesn't have the redeeming factor of the 700 series in that it doesn't have any Hikari rail liveries.
Yeah.
The only real difference between this and the original N700 is they, for whatever reason, brought the nose down into a kind of like double bulb thing and moved the headlights to the side of that, which I don't think is a particular improvement. I don't think it makes it look worse. I'm just kind of neutral about it.
I'm inclined to agree. There is one thing which I do find kind of cool, is just that they can tilt, so they can go faster.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize.
Yeah, well, I remember watching it. I think it was in Richard Hammond's Engineering Connections he went over this thing. The N700.
Gosh. They don't look like tilting trains, I'll say that.
They're very good at hiding it, so I don't blame you for not losing, but they can tilt.
Well, it's because they've got the very square body profile, which you don't tend to get on tilting trains, but clearly that works, I guess.
Yeah, I think their loading gauge is just not crap enough to allow for that.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way of wording it. Yeah, but when they tilt, they can go at 285 kph on sections where it's normally limited to 270. No, wait.
That's not it.
No, I'm reading.
Sorry.
Oh. No, okay. They can basically go faster. I'd end up giving wrong information. I can't read this properly. They can go faster thanks to tilting. There you go. Problem solved. Description solved.
Yeah, the difference though is pretty small, and they don't go that fast anyway.
Well, they can
for a high-speed train.
They do 300 kph.
Do they?
They can do.
I thought they.
The speed depends on the maximum speed depends on which line they're running. So Tokiado, it's 285. Sanyo, it's 300, and on Kyushu, it's 260. Either way,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
still pretty good.
I mean, it's not slow. Yeah, it's faster than like a fast 455, I guess. But,
yes, it is definitely.
And not quite a like-for-like comparison, but
thank you very much. I appreciate that. But yeah, why would they do look a bit on the bland side. I will agree.
I'd say yeah, they don't have the redeeming factor of a good livery in Hikari, so I'd put them in C.
Yeah, we can all just put the N700A as well. And
yeah,
technically the S will go here as well, except this one.
Well, yeah, the N700S-8000, which is the little tiny 6-car version used on Kyushu, which I love. They are great. These are fantastic trains.
They look they look really cool. I like them.
They do. They took the N700 and made it good. And it's interesting. It goes to show just how little you needed to do to make this a good-looking train. And I think the original 700 series with the Hikari Rail livery again shows this. I don't think that the N700 or the 700 series in general is necessarily an ugly train. It's just they've generally been in ugly liveries. But when you put it in the Kyushu red with this wonderful red skirt, it looks brilliant. It looks really good.
I completely agree. There is a little bit of a commendation, sort of like commentary regarding the designers on the designer who. The designer here was done by Ijai Mituoka, I believe. That's the name of the person who designed it.
If there are any Japanese people watching,
yes, we probably should have said that at the beginning of the video. Sorry about that. My Japanese is crap.
My Japanese doesn't exist.
Oh, that's even better. So I want to apologise at least on that behalf. There is no ill will to it. It's just we're just bad at this language. But he said
we're trying our best. We're
definitely trying. It says here that he could not make modifications to the exterior shape or equipment. He sought to make the ride more fun and relaxing through the inclusion of colours and shapes to the train's design. He presented JR Kyushu with 4 livery concepts, with a red and white one being chosen. Headlights were given black outlines, and the center of the nose was painted black in order to have the front of the train resemble a face, which I can sort of see that.
I don't think it does.
I can see where they're coming from, though. If you squint,
I think, though, it's kind of ruined, though, by the sort of headlight mask. Not a headlight mask, the windscreen mask, I guess.
Possibly.
But if you cut that out, yeah, it does look like a face.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean then. But yeah, it's a nice looking train. It's a beautiful looking train. I really like it. And again, like you already said, it's just a small tweak makes a huge difference.
He did a fantastic job, and I mean, I know just how much effort he would have put into this, and designers in general. Good design looks effortless. It is not. It is absolutely not.
Nope, not at all.
But the fact that this looks so simple is a real commendation of that work. Yeah, just a little headlight surround, the big windscreen mask, and that little black crest, the dot on the front of the nose, helps a huge amount. It reminds me of the Virgin Trains crest that they had on the front of their trains. It's a nice little touch that brings it all together and does make good use of the profile of the train. So yeah, fantastic livery.
Alright, well, that's great then. So, which tier, A or S? Where do you think it's deserving of?
S.
Alright then,
in my opinion.
Well, I'm not gonna. I don't think I have any reason to contest it. So, S it is. You get this S tier. Now you see. Now we have one that I love and one that you love. Balance is brought to the world.
Yeah, and I suppose. Well, again, I know we're not bringing interiors. I'm in two minds about the interiors.
Alright.
I don't really like them, so there's a bit of balance there. But we're only thinking about exteriors, so it's definitely S tiers.
Fair
S
enough.
tier.
That'll do then. Well, now we get on to the 800 series, which, well, is 20 years old.
Gosh.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't look it. No.
Aged quite well, I must say.
It has. Yeah, again, we see JR Kyushu here. They clearly are pretty good at designing liveries. The red helps them. It kind of looks like, I guess, an ICE livery, just with a very thin red line.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank goodness it's not operated by Deutsche Bahn, otherwise.
Yeah, ruin it all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it does actually, yeah. With these really long, thin headlights, it looks a little like an ICE4.
Oh my goodness, it does. You're right. I see the like. If you squint, this is like a sort of Poundland.com ICE 4.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I do actually think it does look better than the IC4. It's not the best looking train I've ever seen. The front is perhaps a little too long. They maybe could have brought the windscreen mask down a little, but I think it's still a pretty good looking train, and for a 20-year-old train, it's aged excellently well.
I agree. I think my only appearance criticisms that I have is that the pantograph looks very thin. At least from the images that I'm seeing here, it looks like it could just with a bit of scissors instantly just snap no matter what. I mean, obviously, something.
I mean, evidently that's almost certainly not the case, but yeah, I know it does look a little odd, and especially with most Japanese trains having these sort of massive pantograph kind of arch things
I know
to
what you
protect
mean.
them. Yeah, that it does seem a bit out of place. Again, though, it's what was he? I daren't even pronounce that. Ieji Mituka.
Yeah, I call it. I tried Ijai Mituka. Oh my god, I even pronounced it wrong the first. Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah,
I know.
I feel like we're probably digging ourselves into a bit of a pit trying to pronounce it. Yeah, him again, the one who designed the N700S-8000 Series. Clearly, he is very good.
I can agree on that at least. That is, yeah. Again, I apologise for the pronunciation. So let's jump into what tier we give it before the Yakuza come for us.
Ooh, I'm inclined to go with A.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with A. I'll say this is a good looking. He's nice. He's a nice looking train. I'll say with that.
Okay.
So after that, the next one to jump into is, well, let's go to the E1. The Shinkansen.
E1.
Yeah. This is the one of two double-decker Shinkansen trains. They're sadly not in use anymore. They gave up after 18 years of service.
It's really not that long. These are like the TGV duplexes.
But
Weird.
It is weird, but the TGV duplex has power cars. This one doesn't, so it feels even weirder.
Yeah, I mean, the livery does seem kind of vaguely reminiscent of the original TGV duplex livery, almost, kind of.
Yeah,
I could just be making that up. But...
No, I see. I see what you mean, because you got the dark blue there, but you got a different the stripe of the stripe and the dark blue should be, if you move them lower, like if it was like a paint editor and you just drag and drop drag the line a little bit lower, then you could probably make better TGV comparison.
Yeah, and of course the original TGV duplex livery did have pink stripes for first class, so that I suppose is where the pink is coming from, in my mind at least. Yeah, as for how they look, I don't think they look great, to be honest.
Nah, I'm not a fan of them either. As well, they're sort of just. I mean, I can respect the idea of what they were going for. I just realized the livery that we were looking at, that's the like refurbished, or that's the refurbished livery. I've never seen the original livery until now. I didn't see it. I must have scrolled past it when I was looking.
Oh
at
my
it.
Goodness, that suits them better.
Yeah, for me,
I like that.
But I don't know why it feels like it's been like uppercutted and almost like a giraffe. That's why it has this long neck.
Yeah,
it's like a train on stilts.
Yeah, no, I completely agree actually. Yeah, because if you kind of cover the bottom half, it looks like a reasonably normal train. Yeah, they are weirdly tall. I feel like they were kind of, a train on stilts is a good way to put it. What if we just added a massive section beneath a Shinkansen and didn't really change the design? I feel like they could have used the sort of front space of the front end a little better, considering how much of it there is. Maybe the cab shouldn't be quite as high. But then again, it is rather cool to be in a very tall cab.
Well, yeah, just ask the Coplopa drivers.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm in two minds. I don't think they're really bad, but they're not good looking either.
In that case, should we put it B or C? Especially choosing between B or C tier.
I feel like we've got to go with C. As comparing these to the to the 700 series, I think they're better, but I don't know if they're good enough to go in B. Though then again, we did put the original 700 series in B, so yeah, let's go with B.
Alright, we'll stick it in B. And since we're on a double-decker streak, we'll go with the other double-decker one, the E4. Which I don't think looks as good for some reason. I think it looks weirder.
Yeah, this is kind of the opposite of the E1, in that it's what if we built a Shinkansen and then put stuff on top of it rather than below. It's got a very weird thing on the top of the cab roof where it kind of like tapers out, and it reminds me a little of like looking like a kind of at the front in that sort of section like a Boeing 747, or even a like one of the Airbus Beluga things, the cargo planes.
It does. You know, now that I'm looking at the picture now, it looks like the train is melting at the front.
Yeah, I guess. It's a bit like that. I think it's quite clear that they built the sort of double-decker profile, and then they're like, how do we turn this into a cab? Yeah, how do we finish this? And they just kind of melted it. Yeah, as you say. I'm not a huge fan.
Neither am I. They did last until 2021. So from 1997 to 2020, so 23 years in use. So it's not too bad. And I will say that they do look a little bit better with the yellow stripe livery instead of the pink.
Yeah, I agree. Actually.
Oh dear, change of mind.
I think they look about the same. In the yellow and the pink, I'd probably go with pink, but I'm not sure. They seem. I think it's a shame that there haven't been any double-decker replacement.
No.
They're good trains. Internally, they're pretty nice, and of course, unbelievable capacity. 2 8-car sets coupled together give a total capacity of 1,634, which, according to Wikipedia, is the highest capacity high-speed train set in the world.
That's fantastic. So, you could solve overcrowding on the East Coast Main Line-ish.
I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
All right, I tried.
you could probably run a 16-car set of these on Lumo trains, and it would still be fully booked. I'm not even joking there. It almost certainly would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good, but not good looking.
All right, then. Yeah, we can at least agree on that then. So I guess the question is C or D tier, because I feel like in appearance it's almost worthy of D, but I don't know if that feels a bit mean.
I'll go C.
Yeah, let's go with C.
I think they're worse than the E1, but not that much worse.
All right, that seems like a good compromise to go with for that unit. So after E1 and E4, the next one we can go with. Well, let's go E2.
E2. Okay.
Yeah. So
this is just an E1 but small. Probably closer to an E4 really. E4 but small.
Yeah, I guess you could go away. They're still in service, unlike the E4s or E1s, and they are a little bit faster as well. These ones will do 275 kph.
Yeah, again, it makes sense. Are these also mini Shinkansen routes? No, apparently. No, they're the.
I don't think so. Unless someone corrects us. Actually, it's on this obscure route I've never heard of.
Looking at the Wikipedia page, apparently, Hokuriku Shinkansen, and the Tohoku Shinkansen. So yeah, they're fine, I guess. I don't know what to think about these. They're all right.
I don't really have much of an opinion either. They just look like trains.
Again, these are very bland. They do look like something is missing, namely headlights.
Yeah, because they're on the top.
They're on the roof.
Yeah, they're just on the top. It's a weird place to put them there.
It's very weird, and I think you kind of need the headlights, even from just a design perspective. They add a little bit of visual interest on the front, and I guess from a very human perspective, they provide the kind of reassuring facial features of eyes. Without them, they do just look a bit unsettling and not very comfortable, I guess.
No, but I get what you mean. That's a good way of looking at it, and I'm inclined to agree.
But it might just be unfamiliarity. I don't know. I still don't really like them. I think probably C tier, but
yeah, I was gonna say either C or B tier. But C. Well, let's just make sure I get the right one, because that is just make sure that it was. Yeah, that is the right one. C. Yeah, that's what it's C tier.
Okay.
Yeah,
we've got a lot in C tier.
Well, hopefully hopefully the next ones will be able to fix that up, because
okay.
Well, the next one is going to be the E3, which is this one here.
War. Now the E5.
No, E3.
Well,
E3.
Oh, E3. Oh, sorry. Beg your pardon. I misheard.
That's
E3.
okay. That's okay. This one is another. This one is a mini Shinkansen.
This is a really weird one.
Yeah, because I've seen pictures of it where they've coupled them with like other Shinkansens, and that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's Is this the gauge changing one?
Gauge changing? Did they do that?
Oh no, I beg your pardon. No, it's not. Sorry, they changed the gauge of the line, not the train.
No, yeah.
I was.
This is
Yeah.
the mini Shinkansens.
I was thinking of something else,
Yeah.
and of course they do have a few gauge changing high speed trains in Spain, but yeah, again these just look wrong. They're so narrow.
they look the best. They're sequel to the. They look like a sequel to the 400 series almost. When you think about it, because they even have the same-ish. They even have only one. Some of the coaches only have one door per coach as well.
I actually agree that they do bear similar problems to the 400 series, that being that the windows are all at different heights.
It's weird. Yeah. They even had I've even found some in a different livery. Here, hang on, this one. Yeah, that one there. So in the old 400 series livery.
Ah, yeah, okay. They do just look like 400 series, but with different front ends. Kind of. Not really. They've got smaller windows. Yeah, I don't know what to think, actually. They look better in their original livery, but they're still not great. C-Series again. Not C-Series, sorry. C-Tier again, I'd be inclined to say. But,
Yeah. Or do you want to give it its home? Give it back on D tier with its buddy.
Okay, let's go D tier. Yeah. I think you're probably right there.
Alright, we'll give it D tier as well for that one then. Sorry, you tried, but not enough for us, I'm afraid. Now let's go on to the E5, which also includes the H5. They do have differences, but they're not enough for talking about it's like a snow. The E5 and the H5 are effectively the same train for what we're doing in this video.
Yeah, and they look the same. Yeah. So, now these are some of the sleekest high-speed trains I've ever seen. They look very, very fast. They've got that unbelievably pointy end that goes on forever. They're internally probably the best trains I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, because of that Grand Class as well.
Grand Class, yeah, and even the Green Class is fantastic. I mean, these are wonderful trains, and I'd love to travel on them one day. Yeah. However, I don't know how well these will age. Whilst they look great now, they do seem almost obnoxiously modern.
Obnoxiously modern.
So even so even though they're 2011, which is it's not that young. I wonder if in 10, 20 years' time we'll be looking back on them and thinking that they're very dated. But I don't know.
I'm not too sure, at least for now. I guess you could... I mean, I'm not too sure if I would really think about if they were really going to be, that dated. Even, I don't really... No, I don't think so for now. I think they look good. They still look good. Well,
they still definitely do look good. I'm just a bit worried about the future, but I'm kind of searching for things to be annoyed about here, because I do think they are very good-looking trains. The livery suits them well. They're certainly striking, and they're eye-catching, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. You're not exactly going to miss one.
No.
So, yeah.
Should we go A or S, do you think?
I think this is worthy of... A or... a good one. You know what? Let's be generous. I'm going to give... Let's say this is worthy of S tier. I'm going to say that. Let's say this is worthy of S tier.
Yeah, I'm willing to agree with that.
I can sort of see what you mean by, it might not age well, but it's... How would you say it's aged the last 10 years, 10, 13 years and so?
Well, evidently pretty well.
So,
it doesn't look like a 14, 13-year-old train.
Yeah, so for now, I think it should be fine for the future. It's not going to just, drop off a cliff or something.
Yeah, no. It's better than some of the experimental trains they've come up with.
Oh, don't get me started.
We're not going to get into those.
Alright, so let's go to the E6 in Shinkansen, the E6 ones. Which, I think this is another one that does the mini Shinkansen, and oh wow, look at that, it actually looks like a Shinkansen, so that's really a great start.
Yeah. Again, they do look really awkward, they're very narrow, but they're fine. They've got that lovely E5 front end.
Indeed. It looks even sleeker. Like it's almost like it's almost like a pinch, almost like a pencil almost.
Yeah, it is. Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily sleeker than the E5. It looks a bit like a duck from the side.
Yeah, duck. It's more like a duck bill. Okay.
Yeah, but the livery. Yeah. I think these definitely look worse than the E5s. The question is how much worse. And I think
not too much.
Yeah, not that much worse.
I'd say it's either A or B.
Yeah. I would go B myself, but I'm willing to go with A.
I'm gonna go with B myself as well, just for this. Not because I want to copy everything your opinion wise, but more in the sense of this looks good.
Yeah, you don't see it from afar and think, wow, this is like the best high-speed train ever.
No.
It looks yeah.
True, exactly. So E6, and the next one after that was they did do an E7. There's an E7 and a W7, and I'm not too sure if I'm an idiot. I got both of them by mistake.
They are the same, I believe.
Oh no.
Well, pretty similar.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I was an idiot. I downloaded the same image twice. Dang it. So we'll just ignore.
Oh well.
I don't care. We'll leave one of these alone.
Choose one of them. Okay. These are interesting. They again go for the quite common square profile. They have a pretty modern front end, but it's not as sleek as some of the other ones. The livery, it certainly gives off premium, but again, it's not the best livery I've ever seen. They're fine, but I'd be inclined to go with B tier.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat as you. It is I guess you could say, I do look at that and I say when I look at that, I do think of Shinkansen when I look at that, and
yeah,
I do like the colors. I don't know, for some reason I feel like if you flip the blue with the white, it might look a little bit better.
Maybe. I mean, that would be something to try in Photoshop, I guess.
Oh, I'm too lazy. Sorry.
Me too. I guess they're all right. Internally, too, these are also pretty good. I probably prefer the E5, but these are still fine.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a nice train interior. That's for sure. I'm not gonna look at that and go ugh.
No. So yeah,
I'd say
they're fine.
B tier. I'd say this is worthy of B tier, and that's the wrong
B tier,
one.
I agree.
I clicked I almost dragged this one, which is the last one we're going to look at. Which I forgot the number of it. Okay, which is the E8. Oh, so this one is brand new.
It doesn't look brand new.
Well, I think that's like us praise of the design of the train in general, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Brand new.
No, it's these I think look like a slightly uglier version of the E5, or maybe even actually the E7. That is a merger of the two, I suppose. They've got a similar E7 livery, but more of an E5 shape. Just with the headlights on the side for some reason, which does not work.
Yeah. Nah, I really think the headlight position is dumb. And funnily enough, you mentioned the E5. These trains can work with an E5.
Yeah, well, the E5s work with loads of stuff, don't they? I think actually, they do run with the E7s, or at least the E6s.
Interesting.
They're. I don't like these. I'm inclined to go with C tier, but I don't know. Do you think any differently?
Sadly, not. It doesn't look like the headlight position doesn't look that good.
No.
The color choice would have. I mean, it's nice. It's a little bit of a difference to have the windows. No, not the windows. I mean the color, the dark purple, navy, bluish color on the top. Sort of reminds me of. I'm trying to remember. It reminds me of like a sweet packet, like Terry chocolate orange or something.
Yeah. I was thinking about Orange Eclair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose the dark roof will help with cleaning too. And these also have a similar problem with the windows looking weird and out of place. Like that second coach in particular looks very odd. There should be a door at the end of that coach, but there isn't. And the windows feel way too small. They should have, given the size of them, they should have a window band, and I think that would help them out a lot.
Yeah, I agree. If it was like, like a black.
They don't.
Yeah. One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I think they're harmless. It seems. It's just I think you're right. C tier for this one.
Yeah. Also, look at the extending steps.
Extending
the doors.
steps? They have extending steps on the doors?
Yeah, they fold out.
Oh.
They don't slide out. They just flip out.
Oh, that's weird.
That
feels like something we would do. Like, imagine if we had low platforms, the 150 just had flipping steps.
Yeah, I guess it is odd. But if it works, it works. I suppose. Do these tilt too?
I've got no idea. I don't think they do. There are tilting trains are kind of uncommon in Japan.
Yeah, no, they just have that weird profile of a slight taper towards the wheel, so I wondered if it had something to do with that, but evidently not. So, yeah, they're they're replacing the E3 by the looks of it.
Oh no, said Daniel with almost.
No. These are better than the E3s, definitely, but yeah, and apparently 2+2 in all classes.
Wow,
so that should be a nice improvement for the passengers.
Yeah, well, at the expense of capacity.
Well, yeah, but who's sitting in the middle seat anyway?
Well, it's Japan. Remember, they don't mind it compared to us.
No, I mean compared to us, certainly not. But that's not saying much.
No, that's true. But yeah, that's our tier list. Please ignore this image. I forgot to delete it when I was uploading the things. That's all of our trains here. I think I agree with what we've seen here. Japan trains usually look good. Usually, the key word.
Usually, yeah. Generally speaking, they're certainly interesting.
Indeed. And next time we do a tier list together, hopefully, we'll be able to do it with European trains. Because at the moment, my shortlisting, we're currently shortlisting the train types, and I'm currently at 60 compared to the 18, 19
there are
we
a
had
lot.
here. So I'll think about how to sort this out, but in the meantime, that'll be it. So thank you very much.
I guess this is the problem. Sorry.
No. Go, finish what you want to say, please.
I guess this is the problem with doing one video for a country and then another for a continent.
Yes, true. Well, then again, yeah, fair enough, you got me there. But hey, this was like a good little stepping stone so we know how we can do this in the future.
Yes.
Regardless, thank you very much for joining me, GWVillager. It's nice to...
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
Thank you, the viewer, for watching, and we'll speak to you again next time. Goodbye.
Yes. Thank you. Goodbye.